Hi, welcome to this video where I'm going to create a title for this clip. However, I'm going to do it in Photoshop. So the nice thing with Adobe products are that they work really well together. So you can take information from one Adobe product into another quite easily in most cases. What I'm going to do is then in that case, before I jump to Photoshop, I'm just going to scroll along here. And I think there we are. And I'm just bringing up the resolution. Okay, so 3840 by 2160. So this is actually a 4K video. Okay, and the reason I'm doing that is so that when I then jump into Photoshop and I say File New, okay, I will get this dialog box and I can type in 3840 by 2160 pixels. Okay, as long as I do that, I'm basically looking at a screen now that matches this screen exactly. And so what I'll do is, oh, and by the way, sorry, you can change some of the settings, whether to state whether you want to start with sort of this default white background layer. I didn't change that. Let me just try that again. I'm pretty sure, like I said, I can change. It's not a big deal. Here we are, background. So what have we got? White, black. Let's try background color. So what happens with that one? So if you click create, oh, okay, that's the background color there. All right, so I say that there is probably an option somewhere. However, we're going to remove it anyway. So we start off with this. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a quick title. There's my title color when I click on the T, so it's set to white at the moment, which I'll just leave it at. Okay, video title. So you can't see that, but that's okay because I'm going to take this background layer. You can see it's locked, which means I can't delete it or do anything else with it. But if I double click it, should bring up this option to rename the thing. It's going to automatically say, do you want to rename it to layer 0? Click OK. And now, because it's not a background layer anymore, it's not locked, and I can just press delete and say goodbye. Okay, so there we are. So we've got a transparent backdrop, and I'm going to just create a quick video title like this. There's a whole bunch of controls within Photoshop about sort of how you set up the, align objects and so on. You can see here we've got some properties, but I'm fine with that because I don't want to make this into a Photoshop tutorial. I really just want to sort of look at why I might choose to use Photoshop instead of just doing a title directly in Premiere, or what might be some of the benefits of that. So I'm now going to click save, and I've already created one actually before, but I'm going to create a new one here so we can look at this. Actually, let's call it title 2. However, now that I've done that, let's click save. Let's just add something else in. So actually what I'm going to do is click the new layer button. Oh, by the way, you can see I saved it as a Photoshop file. So Photoshop files will work directly in Premiere. So I'm going to click new layer, and I've got this nice little pink color. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go with the colors I've generally been using throughout a lot of these demos. I'm going to go for a warm orangey color instead. Again, here we go. Click on that, and what will I use? I'll use a paintbrush. Here we go. Oh, nice little pattern. Obviously that's over the text. I'm going to just take that layer, drop it underneath, so it pops up underneath. Okay, in fact, let's do a little bit more. Why not? Okay, there we go. So I'm kind of painting underneath that thing instead. Okay, there we go, and I'm quite happy with that. So now I've got 2 layers. So that was really the main reason for doing that. So you can see how it brings in individual layers. Click File, Save once again. And now that we've saved it, let's jump into Premiere, and what we're going to do is just bring that in. So I'm going to go to the import dialog box, file import, or you can double click in the project panel, but I don't think I've got any space left. So I should have a folder here called titles. Here we go, title 2, which is one I create, and you'll notice that when it's doing the import, it's going to ask, do you want to merge all the layers? So it will just basically mix all the layers into one thing, right? I don't want to do that. I want to bring in the individual layers. That was the whole benefit of using Photoshop. So everything will come in as an individual thing. Well, I say the benefit of it. If you want to play around with it, if you don't want to do anything else, you're happy with the title as it is, bring it in as a merged. But when you bring it in as individual, you'll see it creates a folder called title, and inside exist both of those layers. So we've got now one was called video, which was the I believe the orange layer, and let's just have a quick look actually. Layer 1 and video title. Yeah, video title is the text. probably a good idea to say, my name your layers. That would really help me out here. And also notice again, when I drop this in, it's quite short and I have to extend it. You might recall I mentioned in a previous video, you go to edit preferences and you can change the default length of any still images you bring in. But if we do that and we drop that on top, you can see, hopefully, oops, no, I put them in the wrong order. Video title is the text, and there's my orange background. And so there we go. So we've got that in there. Okay. And I can also now, still play with things like the opacity of any individual layer. So if I'm like, yeah, I like that, but I just want to bring that down, I can just do that in here if I wanted to. But let's undo that for now. So let's go back to Photoshop for a second. Okay, so I mean, as nice as that is, would it be nicer if, let's see if we can do something else with it, perhaps quickly. Yeah, let's just make it like a deeper red or something, right? So let's just go for that. And so we could use a gradient tool. The only problem with the gradient tool, I think, is it's going to do it as a line. I think there's an option to, here we go. Let's change the type of gradient. There we go. Let's change it from the center out. Brilliant, but it's going to do it like that. It's okay. So again, a little Photoshop trickery first. I have to sort of make that selection. There we go. So why not have it so it's kind of fading out, maybe a bit brighter in the middle because the sun was sort of there in the middle in the video. Okay, there you go. I'm happy with that. Now, the nice thing with this is click File, Save. Okay, and if I jump back to Photoshop now, I should hopefully find that's updated. Okay, because obviously I've saved and changed that file. So when you import files into Premiere, it doesn't actually bring those files somehow into this package. It just links to wherever they are. So if I make a change on that file, it automatically updates in here. Yeah, so you can see we can do that. Same thing with the text if you wanted to. Yeah, so you can select the text layer. Let's have a quick look. We should have oops, I might need to just deselect that for a second. There we go. So if I select the text layer, we do have this FX tool here. We've got a whole bunch of options. We've got a gradient. So let's try gradient on that. And it brings up a dialog box, and I'll see if I can sort of recall how to do it on here again. Like I said, it's just been a while. Actually, I don't know if I will be able to because it's a linear style. Oh, here we go, radial. So we'll set it to radial. There we go. So it's kind of going like that. Yeah, so it's going from white to slightly off-white. Oh, sorry, slightly off-white, but from the center. I want to do it the opposite way around, reverse. It's doing it, but it's not large enough. So I need to sort of try to change that. So you can, there we go. Okay, that's better. So it's kind of what I wanted, where it's brighter in the center and then slowly just starts to fade a bit around the edges. Great. Boom, there we go. And again, oh, don't forget to save or it won't take place. So as soon as I press save, go back into here. Hopefully that now should have, there you go, a little bit of depth. I don't know if that's so easy to tell, but that bit there is darker than the center. So just little touches, right? They're not like anything massive that people, sort of gonna perhaps, just completely sort of wow people, but those little touches just give the text a bit of depth. It looks a little bit nicer because of that. I'm not saying the background sort of scribble does, but I think having something that, especially with a piece of text that has a little bit of a gradient to it rather than just one solid color, makes it look less flat. So that's some of the benefits of using Photoshop. Not only does it have a whole range of all these sort of extra things that you can do to text, but at the same time, it's actually very easy to implement once you've brought the Photoshop file in. You can kind of keep going back and changing things. All right, so you could change the position of it or anything like that as well. Yeah. Again, just jump back into your Photoshop file and do that. So feel free to give that a go, and thank you for watching.